Hi guys, this is Mr. Bing. It is Thursday, February 4th, excuse me, at 12:32 p.m. This is our third block class, Principles of Engineering. This week has been not a complete loss, but a partial loss as far as getting things going. Haven't even gotten to meet you guys. We did not have a first day of school. We haven't had a second, third, or apparently we're not going to have a fourth day of school. We still have online work to do, but we're not going to physically meet until many of you, the first time we can meet will be Tuesday, and then others will be Wednesday. And then some of you, I may never meet in person because you're online. But anyway, I wanted to give some instructions today because people aren't sure what to do, and that includes me. But so I'll just get right to it. When you go to the Schoology course page, you always go to Start Here, and then you go to Announcements. I should have made it so that all of these documents are shared with you, that you have permission to get into them, to view them. And so if that's not the case, then please email me and let me know that. So when you go into Announcements, I like to open it into a new tab, and you see that there's February 1st announcements there. However, Tuesday and Wednesday I grayed out because those days didn't really exist in terms of instruction. And then we get to Thursday, which is today, Thursday, February 4th. Thursday, February 4th. 2021 Block 3 POE, Principles of Engineering. What's late? You don't have anything late. If we had been in school last week, you would have had things due last Sunday at midnight, and they would now be late. Of course, none of that happened. On Monday, what are we doing this week? On Monday, we had sort of an intro day. Some of you met me online. If you didn't, that's okay. But I gave some information up front. Then there was Tuesday and Wednesday, which were full-blown snow days. And speaking of full-blown snow days, there was a lot of snow blowing in my house, and so that took up most of my Tuesday and Wednesday. And now that we're back into school, sort of, I'm a little bit behind with this. So if you're just getting this video like halfway into Thursday, I apologize for that. It would have been nice for you to get this earlier. However, before you beat me up too much about that, these assignments were already posted, but your answer to that as well. So what if they were posted? You know, we didn't really understand what we were supposed to be doing. Okay, so it is Thursday. Everybody, e-learner, A through L, M through Z, you should be working on or looking at 1.1.2 simple machine practice problems. Should be doing that today and tomorrow. If things had been ideal, we would have been doing this already this week. And so at least look at this and see what you can do. I am going to go over this in just a moment. What's due this weekend? Nothing. Ordinarily, my due dates are Sunday at midnight. This week, nothing will be due. Anything that would have been due will now be due the following Sunday at midnight. What about next week? This 1.1.2 plus was supposed to be this week. And so I'm just moving it to next. What I want you to notice is that I have something that I call plus assignments, where you have the original, the actual official assignment, and then sometimes I feel like giving more. And so I call those plus assignments. So you don't have to worry about that yet. You can look at it. You can look at everything. Anything that's there, you can look at. What else? If, when, will. If you fail, I fail. When you succeed, I succeed, and we will succeed together. That's sort of the philosophy that I have for my class and for you guys. Also, a secondary philosophy, or more of a mantra, is whatever works. Engineering is all about taking a problem and figuring out a system to solve it, or a machine to solve it, or just you have to find some solution to a problem. And that's what engineering basically is. You're trying to find a good solution. There is no single solution in engineering problems. There are many, many, many good solutions. Some are better than others, but a good solution is a solution that does the job, whatever works. And so I want you to think about everything about this class in terms of pandemic. We're in a whatever works kind of situation. There's a lot of assignments I have learned over the past spring with pandemic and fall with pandemic, and now I've learned that there's a lot of assignments that students will say to me, Mr. Bing, it doesn't make sense. We can't do it that way. There's a different way we should be doing it. And I am all into all of that. When a kid says to me, Mr. Bing, I don't think I should be doing the assignment in this way. Instead, I think I should be doing the assignment in this way. And that's a whatever works situation. I love it. Please give me ideas on how you can adjust an assignment to suit your situation. This is engineering. Also, if or counter to that is if you tell me, oh, 1.1.2 simple machine practice problems, the situation doesn't allow me to do it, so I'm just not going to do it. That's really not a whatever works. Whatever works is trying to find a way to do these things. You guys know better than me as far as how to come up with new tools and methods and all that kind of thing. Help me clean up and organize. My classroom is a mess. The password for the Project Lead the Way course website is PLTW, all lowercase 2021. If I did not email you my user, or start over. If I did not email you your username for Project Lead the Way access, then email me and let me know that. Okay, so those are the announcements, and back to the Schoology course page for Principles of Engineering. We looked at the announcements, look at those every day. Now we're going to look at the Project Lead the Way course page, which will not open in Schoology. It has to open in a new tab. I like to open in new tabs anyway, so, you know. And then you have a username and password. I have a username and password. My password is not, hang on, I can't think and type. My password is not PLTW 2021, yours is. Okay, so hopefully this will be Principles of Engineering. There's the little side panel. Some people said I wasn't clear about where to find that. And then mechanisms 1.1.2, simple machine practice problems. Okay, this assignment requires you to take down some notes of some information. There's an introduction and there's some resources, not much there. But I realized that the 1.1.1 that we're skipping actually has some information and some definitions that we need, and then it has some resources that we need as well. So before I get too much into that, let me pop back here. I do realize that this is a little bit all over the place. The announcements we looked at, boom, there's announcements. The Project Lead the Way POE course page, that's there. We're going to have to come back and talk about that much more. And then there's the Engineering Notebook Simulator, which is a simulation of what a notebook should look like. This simulator is on a Google Sheet, so it's not a real notebook. It was not written with real pen on paper, but that's what it's supposed to simulate. So in your engineering notebook, the very first page is probably table of contents. There might even be 2 or 3 pages of table of contents, but you have to put an entry in your table of contents for each assignment that we do. The 2 assignments that I've done so far is 112 simple machine practice problems. That's listed as the first entry with the date that I started the assignment and the page that it starts on. And then the next assignment for next week, 1.1.2 plus simple machine practice problems plus the date that I started and the page that it's on. So on this tab, I have the complete visual simulation of the notebook entry for 1.1.2 simple machine practice problems. And so here you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pages of notebook work. That's a lot of notebook work. So you'll need some time to do this, and there will be note taking before you actually do the work. And so the note taking, if you can see this on your screen, all this blue italicized text, it is that way because it is representing ink on paper that you are handwriting. You are handwriting introduction from 1.1.1, lever, mechanisms, wheel and axle, and then the definitions of each of those. Now notice it's 1.1.2, but I want the introduction from 1.1.1 in terms of the information. So here, when you're looking at this and you see 1.1.1 introduction, I want you to read these paragraphs and take notes from them. Whenever you see a bold, clickable term, click on it, and this gives you a free, easy note that you can take to put in your notebook for lever and mechanism and wheel and axle and pulley and simple machines. And when you look at all those and write all those down, you get something that looks like this: lever, mechanism, wheel and axle, pulley, simple machine. So those notes that I took, I sort of stole them from those clickable definitions and put them in the notebook. And then resources also from 1.1.1. There are resources here, resource sheet, building with VEX, something, something, something. These are PowerPoints. Now, a lot of those resources are good to look at. Some of them are necessary to take notes on. So what I've listed here for I know this is super fast, please forgive me. Watch the video again if you're missing something. Resources from 1.1.1, building with VEX, review only, notes not necessary. So this, building with VEX, click on that, look at it, read it, try to understand it, but you do not need to take notes on it. Simple machine, lever, wheel, axle, and pulley. Let me see. Simple machine, lever, wheel, axle, and pulley. Yes, look at that. Review only, notes not necessary. But the information in that PowerPoint will be critical for doing the problems that come down the line on this assignment. Simple machines, inclined plane, wedge, and screw. Well, look, here's a PowerPoint. Simple machines, inclined plane, wedge, and screw. And and make sure you're writing everything that I have printed here in blue. That's what you're writing in your notebook in order to document everything that you're doing. This one, review only, notes not necessary. Again, there's information there that you'll have to have, procedures and instructions and equations you'll have to have in order to do the problems that are coming up. Introduction to the substructure system. Yes, here's another introduction to structure subsystem. Notice that I did not mention other resources. The other resources I'm saying are not necessary. The other ones I did not mention were Logger Pro resource sheet and simple machine device construction. I did not mention those. Don't worry about them. You can skip to that. Now, all of that 1.1.1 was just preliminary information that you need in order to do 1.1.2. So it looks like we're starting over, so to speak, because now we are doing the proper version of 1.1.2 simple machine practice problems. And so we're already into the second page of notes before we get to that. Introduction and resources. Again, you're taking notes, this time from 1.1.2, the introduction here, taking notes from here. There aren't any definitions listed here, so you actually have to pull some notes out of that paragraph. And so here is the note that I pulled out of that paragraph. Feel free to look at my note. Feel free to come up with your own note, restructure it in the way that you like. I'm not necessarily giving you work to copy off of, but I am giving you a visual example with this simulation of what the notes might look like. And then it says resources from 1.1.2. Well, look, there's these resources, activity 1.1. These are the actual problems, and then understanding thread notes. So in the resources, I said activity 1.1.2, simple machine practice problems. Those are the actual problems. You'll open up a document with that. And then understanding thread notes, well, that's information. And to tell you the truth, it's not the most relevant information right now, but it is engineering concepts. So review it. Notes not necessary, but that out of everything I've said so far, that's probably the least important of all the information and resources. Okay, then you get to the procedure. This simple machines practice problem sheet has all the problems in it. And so I want you to write down this procedure. This is my procedure for all engineering and all physics problems. It's solve problems using the GUESS method. And you can see that for yourself. It's the word GUESS, but it's an acronym, GUESS. Given, unknown, equation, substitution, and solution. And that process you're going to use on every single problem you ever do. And make sure that when applicable, which is a lot of the time, that you include a sketch in your given, because the sketch itself is given. And then next, you'll see on the assignment, which I'm not going to open up right now because you can look at it yourself. It says combine the steps into whole problems. And when you open up that problem set, there's going to be 30 problems. But there's really not 30 problems. What they did is they broke the problems into steps. I don't like that. I like for you just to do individual problems as individual chunks. And I don't care about step 1 and 2 and 3. So number 1, 2, and 3, that's just one problem. And it looks like 30 problems, but there's actually 10 in here. And let me try to make sense of this for you. After you've looked at these 30 problems, what you will see is what you will do is all of this. But this right here, that's one problem, number 1 through 3. This right here, that's one problem, 4 through 6. This one, 7 through 9, one problem. This little 10 is a problem on its own. 11 through 13, one problem. 14 through 15, one problem. 16 and 17, one problem. 18 through 22, one problem. 23 through 29, one problem. I don't know if there's more. Oh my gosh, this is a lot. And then that was 23 through 25. And then 26 through 31 problem. So come to think of it, this is a lot of work. But that's why I laid it out for you so you can look at it. You can see how I set this up. Let me zoom in a little bit on this one. This particular problem, remember it's the GUESS method. So I wrote down the given and the unknown, GU. I drew a sketch and then the equation, given, unknown, equation, substitution, and solution. So given, unknown, equation, substitution, solution, GUESS. That's the complete solution. I hope you like it. Feel free to look at it to guide yourself through the problem. These problems are hard, man, because when you first look at these, you're going to be like, what? I don't know how to do this. That's why you have to look at all those PowerPoints and take notes on them and figure all that stuff out. This is a ton of work. I apologize. I realize now that this is a ton of work. So look at my problem solutions, see if you like them. I know what you're going to do. You're going to try to use mine as your own, and that's okay, so to speak. Just try not to be a complete copycat, but use mine as a guide. And so more problems, more problems. Oh, notice that there's a big blank space on the page here. If that happens, if you end up with a big blank space on your page, you got to draw a line through it to sort of block off that blank space and sign your name on it. Speaking of signing your name, every page when you finish it, you have to sign your name, which sort of verifies this is my work. Have someone witness it, that they're verifying, yes, it's his work or her work, and then the date and the date of those signatures. If you have team members, you list those here. If you are not finished, if you come to an end of page and you're not finished, then you put what the continues on page 2, continues on page 3, continues on page 4, and you keep doing that until you're done with the assignment, and then it's not continued on page anything. So I put an X there. Okay, so this is super fast, super confusing. I super apologize for all that. But I just want you to get started thinking about looking over things, seeing what you can do. If you tell me I can't do this, I'll say, okay, I understand that. But just try to get it started, and maybe you can. Maybe you can do more than you think. Okay, back here to the start here. On the start here, we looked at the announcements. Yes, there's announcements. We looked at the Project Lead the Way course page. Yes, there's the Project Lead the Way course page. We looked at the Engineering Notebook Simulator. Yes, there's the Engineering Notebook Simulator. So you're going to look at all those things. You're going to try to do all that work. You're going to put that on your engineering notebook. Also, I forgot to tell you, you don't have engineering notebooks. So I'm going to bring them to you today. I'm so enthused, not enthused. I'm so anxious about getting out of this video so I can get on the road and start delivering notebooks to you. And if I don't get to you today, I'll get to you tomorrow. I'm so sorry. You should have got them on Tuesday and Wednesday. I'm so sorry. YouTube, look at the YouTube videos. This video is going to be posted there in a moment, but there's already videos posted there that give you a lot of the same information. Look at those over and over. Hall pass sign out, we'll worry about that later. Cam scan instructions and cam scan video, we'll worry about that later. When you turn in your assignments, you have to scan them and submit them online. And then Zoom. I'm on a Zoom right now, actually, all by myself, though, and making this video. So I think that's it for now. I'm going to say goodbye, and I'll see you tomorrow or another time. Bye.